All right, so I can't stand Facebook. I can't stand TikTok, Instagram, Twitter or X, and all those social media sites. You know, really, there's a pretty good chance if I didn't have my own business, there's a pretty good chance I wouldn't have any of that stuff in my life. Pretty good chance, because I find it's very addictive, it's very corrosive, and it's very toxic. There's a lot of narcissism and anger and hatred, you know, and all those sites. And that's not to say that if I had them, I wouldn't be responsible about them with them. That's what I try and do now. So I say all that preemptively to say that I don't like social media, but I like business. And that's why I like social media. It's the best tool that I know for marketing my photography business, and specifically for marketing Fairy Day events. So when I post 3 times a day. I get up in the morning, one of the first things I do is have my cup of coffee. I have my morning routine, and then I go to my computer, usually in the first half hour, and I set up 3 posts. That's usually the first thing I do. I set a post up on all social media to promote the studio. And a good bulk of what I post are fairy images to keep that brand going. I have a big billboard on my building here at my studio. It's a fairy portrait because that's what I'm known for. And that is the bulk of what our brand, our studio brand is that. So I'm not gonna try and reinvent the wheel. So I post in the morning. I set up an automatic post early afternoon, and usually 6 o'clock later in the afternoon. And I do that religiously because it's marketing. It's something I really believe in. So again, I can't stand social media, but that's a personal thing, but I like business. So the analogy that I like to use when it comes to marketing and using social media is the mall. I can't stand the mall either. I don't know how many guys out there don't like going to the mall. I can't stand going to the mall. However, I like business. So there was a time back in the 90s, my wife and I, when we first got married, she quit her job as an accountant. We started working together, and we had a baby, and I was taking marketing very, very serious, you know, felt all these responsibilities. And one thing I always wanted to do was go to a mall and put a display up, because you'd see that once in a while, these kiosks and other businesses in our local mall, which was one of the busiest malls in all of Canada on a per capita basis. And I always thought that would be so cool to be able to put a display up there. And I went to the mall, and I think I went in November. I said, how much would it be to have a space for a week leading up to Christmas Eve? And they sort of laughed at me and said, you can't, that's not the way it works. They said, everybody that's in the mall that has a kiosk, it's a 6-week contract, and it's a 50% surcharge because it's Christmas time, and you have to book a year in advance. And I'm like, oh, well, who knew? I didn't know. Anyways, they called me back 2 days later, and they said, okay, we got a spot for you if you're interested. By this time, it was already, I think the Christmas season, that 6-week period I was telling you about, had already started. They said, we do have a spot for you. We're going to give you the regular price, and we're going to take a certain amount out in trade. They wanted some photography services. I'm like, wow, how cool is that? So we did that, and I put up a display, and right up till Christmas Eve, and we sold a ton of gift certificates, which was a side bonus. I didn't expect that to be so successful. But the primary thing I wanted was the display, the visual. You know, this mall would get 30,000 people on a Saturday, November, December. That's a busy, busy place. That's a lot of eyeballs. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted more than anything. I mean, the fact that we sold a ton was a bonus, and it was nice. It helped. But mostly what I wanted was to build a brand. That's exactly the same thing as social media, except social media is year-round, and it's practically free, unless you're doing paid ads, which are peanuts. Right now, they're peanuts. And we use Facebook and Instagram pay-per-click ads to promote all our Fairy Day events. 100%. I mean, that's working for us. It works like gangbusters. If things change in time, we're going to have to find another way to find our target audience. You know, you just got to find your target audience. They're out there. I know they're out there because when we find them and we pitch them a Fairy Day event, they book. That's how you know you have an audience. That's how you know you have a market, because you can identify them, you can find them, and you can pitch them with a strong message, an offer, and they respond. So social media brings that to the game. And social media is exactly the same as all those women, and women are predominantly 99.999% of our client base. Our target audience are women, grandmothers, moms, little kids. When they're walking through the mall and they see us and they're like, oh, that's nice. And they see it, they have that, they remember you. They may come back a few days later and, oh yeah, I remember them. They remember you. It's the same thing with social media. It's exactly the same thing. So why not use it for your business, your photography business? It's just, that's why I like social media. It's a great business tool. So, I might as well take advantage of it. Thanks.